Hi, Sandy Star Wellness. I'm here with Stephanie with Designs for Health, and wanted to talk about, as I share my screen, I want to talk about Prop 65, and I brought Stephanie on board because she's got some great info on that. Also, being with Designs for Health, which is one of my primary nutraceutical companies I use, and I'm also using in the 14-day group reset. I think it's really important to talk about Prop 65. So welcome, Stephanie. Thanks for jumping on with me. I've got a screen up, and are you see it okay?
Yep, looks great.
Awesome. So this is just a great visual for us to see a comparison when we talk about Prop 65, which I'll have Stephanie go over that. I think it's important to hear from you, because also showing the comparison and comparing that to, for example, the 14-day reset kit and the products in that. So you want to go ahead and kind of jump in on that?
Sure. Yeah. No, and I'm so glad we're doing this. It's really important because I think most people have no idea what Prop 65 even is. And they maybe have never heard of it before, no idea what it means until a supplement or other product in your life pops up with a Prop 65 label on it. That can be scary at first glance because California's made these Prop 65 labels that say things like reproductive harm or things that you may feel are, scary.
Scary label.
Especially if you don't know why it's there.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping to kind of elucidate now, is why it's there. And it is there only on products in California. So the same product sold in any other state is not going to carry this label. It's something that is in effect put in place by the state of California, Prop 65. So Prop 65 is a warning that must go on products that contain anything that was grown in soil that contains minerals like lead. Right. We don't, for example, you have to get a warning from a landlord in your lease if there may be lead paint in your old house, apartment. Right. And that's, in that case, you want to know, okay, there could be lead in my walls or my pipes or what have you. In this case, we're talking about, supplements contain ingredients, raw materials that come from plants that were grown in soil, and soil naturally contains lead, iron, other minerals, and all kinds of nutrients. Yeah. So just naturally, by nature, plants can contain some amount of lead in them. And that's why California wants to put this warning label on products. What's important to understand is that the amounts of lead we're talking about are tiny, and tinier often than what we find in our everyday foods that we're already eating. So you can see the nice little list there of foods and how much lead is in them. We don't know. I mean, we don't think about this. And so it's just important to understand that these are amounts that you would find in everyday foods, like your spinach, like your shrimp, your salad, and what have you. So those are amounts that are found naturally in those foods, and actually the grocery store is legally in California required to post a Prop 65 warning in their produce department to let you know this spinach was grown in soil containing lead, just naturally. Not artificial amounts of lead, right? Not high amounts of lead, but we put these raw materials at a high dose into nutraceutical products, and there they are. The highlighted sentence there at the bottom of the screen is important to point out. So the Prop 65 warning label might say reproductive harm, because high amounts of lead can be harmful to a growing fetus. So the FDA's current safety level for daily lead intake is 25 micrograms for pregnant women. That's what's safe for them and for their baby, because that lead's going to pass through the placenta to the baby. But Prop 65 requires that you put that label on any product with 0.5 micrograms or higher in the product. So you can have very small amounts of lead, less than you have in that granola cereal on the bottom of the list there, right? Less than is in your drinking water, requires a Prop 65 label. And so we have to, in order to be in compliance and not get a fine from the state of California, supplement companies have to put this warning label on. And it may be an important thing to consider for pregnant women who may be taking, if you're taking lots of products and eating lots of shrimp or want to weigh, you want to be cognizant that there are raw materials or produce products, food products, all these things that may contain bits of lead that could add up. So it's something to be aware of if you're pregnant. Yeah. Outside of that, it's just letting you know this has raw materials that were grown in soil, and soil can contain lead.
Yeah, right. And I mean, if you look at dry wine, hey, I went right to that. I'm like 6.8. Okay, interesting. Shrimp, 23. So yeah, I mean, we granola, honey, So, and the reality is that every California product should have this label on it, if you think about it.
Any of these foods, and more. This is not a complete list by any means.
Right. Oh yeah. You can definitely do your research, do your homework. And I am happy to send you great documents on this. And this, I think, was put out in 1986, I believe. I don't know. It's been out for a while. But it's just something to keep in mind. So we wanted to really address Prop 65. And I did this short video because I really want to be able to send this to anybody that has questions on it. And definitely do your research. You can search other foods as well. And I would say if somebody's pregnant or thinks they're pregnant, really look at the foods too. Like make sure you're not doing a lot of shrimp. Make sure you're not doing things on the top list, right? Because that can cause a problem when it adds up. But the products for Designs for Health, they put this label on because they are adhering to Prop 65 in California. Again, it's not outside of California, which is also interesting. Mm-hmm. But just be aware of that. Mm-hmm.
It makes it's also interesting when we think about, for example, your reset and detoxifying. When we look at this list of foods, and it reminds me too of just other things that are in our foods that we're not thinking about, glyphosate, pesticide, and all these things that don't require a label. It's exactly the reason why we need to detoxify periodically, because these things just, even in amounts, of course you would never not eat spinach because there's 7 micrograms of lead in it. We're going to eat spinach. It's so nutrient dense and amazing. But we have to recognize that there are things in our foods and in our environments. You can even see there, the water and our air. That we need to give our body a hand once in a while to handle that load, because there's so many things in so many things.
I know that's one of so many, right, that we're detoxing on a daily basis. So another reason to detox for sure is to get rid of, even if you're not buying organic, you're getting glyphosate, you're getting a neurotoxin on your food, which can really affect so many things in the system and cause leaky gut. So those are the things I go after. It's like, okay, when we look at food, I'm looking at those real toxins that are in the food that are put on not naturally, right?
Right. So, and the sugar and the
I know, and the bad fats and all that. So
right.
As nutritionists, we know that, we know what's nutrition and what's not. And we know when something like this pops up, it's like, okay, we want to look at this. Does this really affect at this level, like 0.5? That's pretty minute, right? So that's why we wanted to do this and share this slide. And there's other documents for sure on this, but this is a great summary to kind of show what we're taking in on a daily basis. And another reason really to detox is not just this. I mean, this isn't even what we're concerned about. It's all the other stuff.
All the other junk. Yeah,
exactly. So awesome. Well, I appreciate that. We hope you did, and we hope you do your research. Honestly, get in touch with me if you want to get some more documentation on this. I'm happy to share it, because I felt it was really important to look into it and to have an answer for the question that people should actually be asking. Why is this label on my product? This is a healthy product, right? So we get to tell you what the real scoop is on that.
The inside scoop.
Yeah, well, that's the scoop. So
that's the scoop.
Yeah, so thank you.